Hello and welcome back to Astrological Intentions. This is episode number 23, December 18th, 2018. I am your host, Alex Reevy, along with my fantastical mother.
Fantastical. I like it. It always
Sandy
changes.
Reevy.
I'm Sandy Reevy, your astrologer.
Hello. And so
Hi.
what we want to talk about is in the transits. This is Sun trine Uranus,
Ready or not, here it comes.
Venus trine Neptune,
Unselfish spiritual love.
Mercury conjunct Jupiter,
Go big and go home.
Sun moves into Capricorn,
Winter is now here.
Mercury squares Neptune.
Early prep is needed.
Yes, we have a lot going on, as well as even more talisman times. Sandy has finished up a couple of her talismans from last week, as well as some upcoming.
6 of them this week. Lots going on between Thursday and Friday.
On the horizon, we have some free events, some in-person workshops, some paid ones, some free ones, as well as our Bali retreat. So you want to listen in because these are, you shouldn't miss
These are
this.
yummy. The solar-powered year, cannot miss. Please.
It's her one wish for Christmas. Then we have coming up our house. We have a really cool video that we want to share with you all. It's the winter solstice from Fairbanks, Alaska. Check out that link. Sandy shares her solar-powered year dates that are proving right on. Mm-hmm. And I share a little bit of my
Private life
with the Venus sextile Saturn. So stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions.
Yeah.
You got the keys. You got the keys. You got the keys. You got the keys.
Hello, Mama.
Hi, Alex. 'Tis the season.
It's good to be back here in the studio. We have our essential oils in flux right now. It's beautiful scents here.
Yes, I'm doing the in tune.
Yes.
Tuning in.
So, what better thing than talking to all of our listeners? I mean, we absolutely love you guys. Thank you for all of these reviews, for all of these comments.
I got something better than talking to them when they talk back to us.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
yes. True.
that's super great.
Yes. So we asked you guys last week where you listened to the podcast, and we had some really funny answers. Wendy says she listens to us in the bathtub. So, hey, Wendy. Hope that's
Splash, rubber ducky.
Rocco says it's in the kitchen while making breakfast. So, good morning. And Kristen says after yoga class, she listens to our podcast. And speaking of which, Kristen was the one we had that Sandy, you did the little mini chart reading for.
Right.
And so
Last week,
yeah. Right. And so we got an Instagram message from her. She says, hello, Sandy and Alexandra. OMG. I got out of a fabulous yoga class and started to listen to the December 12th podcast where I heard you say my name. I thought, oh, this must be another Kristen. But then it was me. Thank you so much for the reading. So funny how much it makes so much sense to me. The creativity, showmanship, stepping up, leadership, self-expression all seem to pertain to the fact that I got my teacher training in yoga and I am struggling to find the courage to get out there and teach.
Come on.
I seem to have a block, but how nice to verify my need to both expand and jump off this ledge. Awesome podcast, and thanks so much to you both. So Kristen,
Perfect.
Jump off the ledge.
I mean, you're trained to stand tall and stand solid. So, there is no problem.
Yes.
There is no problem of jumping.
And even within a little bit of courage, there is that nervousness because you just need to keep going and
change that to I am excited.
Yes.
I am excited. You can change that energy
instead
frequency.
Of I am scared or nervous.
Change that frequency to a happy instead of the lower.
Right.
I
like that.
Lower polarity. A lot is going on this week. We're today on Tuesday, December 18th. And the first big transit comes in Thursday, the 20th, December 20th. This is the Sun trine Uranus. This happens at 10:21 a.m. Central. And I titled that Ready or Not, Here It Comes.
Uh-oh.
Excitement.
Are we scared?
No.
Or are
It's a
we
trine.
excited?
We're excited. It's a trine. When the primary essence of the light and warmth, trines 120 degrees, the planet Uranus, which it does twice a year. This is one of the days this year. We get these excitement and surprises. You know, Uranus is the planet of the awakener, the rebel. You know, I use that term a lot, the change agent. And it's the spontaneous, out of the ordinary situations. People may come back in. What new activities do you want to explore? You know, watch out what comes in on Thursday, maybe even Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday that kind of shakes you up. And certainly if any of your plans, you know, we all have, you know, lots to do this time right before the holiday. And, you know, if your plan changes, you know, be flexible.
Yeah.
Take that deep breath and go, it is better than what plan I had for myself. And watch it unfold and be in the mystery of it and the excitement of it.
Yeah.
Right.
And sometimes it is hard to be in that unknown space because you're just like, give me an answer. Hurry,
well,
hurry.
no, I've been planning this and all of a sudden this doesn't go on time. And now my whole day is off. It's like, deep breath. This is supposed to be like this today.
Right.
So, you know, that's ready or not. Here it comes. You don't get to call it. And then the next day, Friday, we have the Venus is trining Neptune.
Oh, good. Another trine.
Yeah, another trine. Easy.
Cool.
Really. You know, Barbara Shermer, my mentor, always talked about it falls into your lap. That's how easy she talked about the trines. So I quote from her, this just falls into your lap. However, the thing about falling into your lap, you know, be aware of it. Get up, use it, right? Don't like lay back on the couch and go, okay, I'm a little tired.
It was just a noise.
Oh, let's work with it. And this energy happens at 11:12 a.m. Central. And Venus is, you know, love, beauty, and money. I keep talking about that. It's pleasantries. It's social. Neptune is about, you know, ease, flow, creativity, imagination. It makes us dream. It wants us to relax and live in a fantasy world. Now, this is Friday. You know, it's coming up on the holiday. You know, we may be able to do that. You know, vision your own life. You know, get into a romantic novel, go see movies. You know, be like, go see Mary Poppins Returns. That's what I'm going to do this Christmas holiday.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So this pleasant, lazy day, romance, you know, a vision. What do you want to attract? Right. We're visioning it. We're just in this peaceful, watery place of visioning. And then later like an hour later, no, actually like 20 minutes later at 11:37 a.m., we get the conjunction of Mercury conjunct Jupiter. And I titled this Go Big or Go Home.
This is exciting.
It broadens all of our views. It's more about the big picture. Well, this is really interesting, right? Because the Jupiter is, you know, rules Sagittarius and he's in Sagittarius. And the opposite of Jupiter and Sagittarius is Mercury and Gemini.
Right.
And that's an opposition. And so Mercury really doesn't like being so into the big picture because Mercury likes the detail. Right. Likes the small little puzzle pieces, you know, getting all the little specifics and the little, this has to happen and this has to be this size and this color. And so when they combine, we get this, you know, this awareness of the broadness, the big picture. And what we don't want to do here is overlook any details because you know what? The details are just as important in the big picture because all the details have to fit together.
And the big vision of Jupiter might take over Mercury's attention to detail.
Perfect. like, let's hurry and go big. When Mercury's going, we didn't figure out how we're going to get there yet. Do we have enough gas in the car? Do we have all the gifts, all the little details. So it's the one beautiful thing that this also brings in is that we can understand other people's spiritual thoughts and ideas. We become more of a looking into, possibilities. New possibilities. So it's great for conversations. It's great for having, those topics.
Open-minded topics when you're home with the family.
And some people want to talk about that political statement. And, some of us are going, okay, they have their ideas in mind too.
So they don't have to just go big or go home. They have to go big and go home.
Oh, good.
Nice.
Man,
perfect.
that in tune is really like tuning you in. And then again, later on that afternoon, the sun moves into Capricorn.
Happy birthday, Capricorns.
Happy birthday. And this is the winter solstice. And so I titled this, winter is now here. Although we just walked into the studio and it feels like it's about 55 degrees out there. We were like standing out there, taking our deep breaths.
It's really nice here in Chicago.
So,
we shouldn't jinx this though.
But this is like the fall we never had.
True. True.
And so, when the sun moves into Capricorn every year at this time, we pay attention to our duties and our responsibilities. They come into focus. Right. And this is right before the holidays, like it is every year. And just the solstice is when we split that up in the Latin word, it's a Latin word, sol meaning sun and sistere meaning to stand still. So twice a year we get a solstice, right? The winter and the summer. And this winter allows us to have the shortest day of the year. It's when the sun is the farthest away from the equator, and it makes this portal period that this veil to the universe becomes very thin. So we're able to get messages at all of the equinox and solstice points. So, very special time when, the sun goes all the way to the southern latitude of about 23.5 degrees. The sun really is over the Tropic of Capricorn at that point. And really interesting, I did include on our a little video that shows the sun, if you're in Fairbanks, Alaska, what this winter solstice looks like. So the sun comes up over the horizon, stays right along the horizon, and goes back down. And so the sun is only up for about 2.5, 3 hours.
Isn't it?
And in fact, if you get all the way north to the Arctic Circle, you'll have no daylight at all.
Just what, a glow?
Maybe a dawn, but the sun never comes up over the horizon.
Yeah, I mean, this video is so cool. It's almost like the sun is just kind of like hanging out and just pausing, but doing more of like a horizontal sunset.
Yeah, it looks like it's riding a bike along the horizon instead of taking off over the world. So yeah, that's going on. And then we get to Christmas Eve. Oh, and one other thing before as the sun moves into Capricorn on the 21st around 4:23 p.m. that day, which is Friday, the 2 talismans or 3 talismans I'll be making will be the last few talismans with the sun in Sagittarius. So I'll totally miss my Sagittarius sun talismans. So I've made many of them, and I'll be making these. I'll talk about that in Talisman Times. But on Monday, December 24th, beautiful Christmas Eve, and we have Mercury square Neptune. Now this is square. And this is at 6:33 p.m. Central. And I wrote, early preparation is needed because when we get to this Mercury square, squares are 90 degrees. It's like it's a stress, it's a conflict, it's a confusion, it's a limitation. And, I write confusion and misunderstandings. It'll almost feel like Mercury's in retrograde. It'll be that like, I thought it was, I didn't know I was supposed to bring a Santa gift. Oh, I thought you said, like communication. And this is Christmas Eve. So I really want people to recognize that this is going on. You know, you really don't want to face reality here, right? Mercury is all about, you know, the mind and the thoughts and the ideas and the punctuality and the detail, as we talked earlier. And when it squares, is in conflict with a peaceful, going with the flow, not paying attention to detail. You know, Pisces, Neptune in Pisces doesn't want the detail. It just wants the vision, right? It doesn't want to actually do the work. It just wants to meditate and envision it. So, you know, gather all the new and information on something when it comes up, because delusion can occur. So you're not just going to like gossip. Oh my gosh, this is not a good time to gossip. Do not talk about other people and take it for word. Right?
Or even receive gossip as a truth.
Right. And this also is a time where, you know, secrets can also come up. And so you don't even, you know, secrets are, you know,
Secrets are no fun. And I thought that's what they always are.
What are they?
Secrets are no fun.
I have never heard that. I never taught you that.
Really?
Where did you get
They're
that?
no fun because you're supposed to share them to everybody.
Oh, secrets. Didn't get that. So, you know, I've written early preparation is needed because it is Christmas Eve. So check out those duties, what you're supposed to do, and, you know, be in calmness when you're with your family, wherever you are on Christmas Eve. This will come, you know, it's still in play on Christmas Day. This will stay in play for, you know, about 5 days. So we could even call that in coming up here soon. Instead, why don't you check out that Christmas Eve religious service? It would be a really good time to gain a greater sensitivity. This is good for that.
Actually, I was just trying to think of like, what could people do? Because, you know, Mercury, how we communicate, how we think, squaring Neptune, and Neptune is all about that spiritual realm. And it's about how we can become this more fluid being. But with those kind of squaring each other, it's like, what obstacle can we, overcome here? And that I think would be maybe attending a service, you know, stepping outside of the cookie eating and the present opening to really dedicate towards communicating with a higher realm.
Right. You know, meditating, you know, just putting yourself in a place where you find peace, but it's you have to go. That's going to be the stress.
You have to dive in.
You have to like put your coat on late at night and get out in the cold and go to a midnight service or an evening service, you know, where we want to just stay in the relaxation. I know, you know, Neptune also is the planet that represents institutions, hospitals. And as we know where we will be on Christmas Eve, we just found out today that I know my dad's back in the hospital. He broke his leg, but I just found out from my mom today that we're all going into the hospital with our food, our presents, our outfits, our games, our all the toys, and we're going in on the Christmas Eve, the 24th. We're going in on the 25th, and we're going in on the 26th. And we've got my mom's got all the food planned. We've got the games planned so that my dad does not miss any of the Christmas activities.
And Neptune is also about healing.
And Neptune's about healing. So that's how our Christmas, you know, is changing. We see that in advance, which again, by calling in this early prep, you know, I write something and like, yep, early preparation, because now all the meals that we had planned on making, we have to make portable food now without, you know, lots of dishes and knives and forks and crystal and stuff like that. So interesting. We're changing up the plan.
Yes. So now
next. A lot of work. Yeah. Talisman times.
Yes. So of course I remind everyone, but really wonderful Christmas presents, or maybe just after Christmas, considering the shipping time lag. But we have our Jupiter and Sagittarius malas and bracelets. They're live on the site. If you go to intentionbeads.com/products, You'll be able to see them. They're beautiful and all about this having a sense of buoyancy, having a sense of higher knowledge, optimistic thinking, a positivity. And those are really wonderful presents to give. So
And
I'm
they're
gonna give
beautiful.
those-
They just came in from Bali last week.
Yes.
Yeah. So
So-
everybody that had their pre-sales have them in their hand or around their neck.
Yes. And anyone that has the webinar is going to be receiving them about the same time. Should be receiving them after Christmas, around New Year's, possibly.
Well, the people that order the Jupiter on
That
the
were in the
website
webinar.
well, the people that order now can get them before Christmas.
Right.
The people from the webinar that November 8th and 9th, those are not back from Bali yet.
Right.
So those aren't going to be due back until mid-January.
Oh, mid-January.
Yeah,
I thought we
mid-January.
were saying the beginning.
Well, we did, and then I got an update from Bali.
Okay.
Yeah, Soma. There's so many. They have so many Balinese holidays, and they respect each one. Mm-hmm. Do you want to hear about? Well, I did 2 talisman bracelets this past week.
Yes,
that
which
I announced
ones?
I announced them last week, but I'm going to go over them again. Mm-hmm. So on Sunday, December 16th at 8:01 a.m., we had Venus sextile to Saturn to commit to a love relationship. I happily attend to my partner's needs and wants, and I happily receive my desires in return. Yes, this works for me. I made one bracelet. Beautiful. The next one I did was on Sunday, a little bit later, December 16th at 1:44 p.m. to increase commerce and fortunate sales. I am very much concerned and focused on what needs to happen in a business agreement. I conduct myself with proper diplomacy and fairness. 2 nice ones.
Yes,
So there's
absolutely.
those 2 bracelets. But man, I've got a stack
6?
of papers here. I mean, should we read them all
You
or
are
no?
busy. You are busy.
Well, I will be starting on Thursday. These are coming in. I haven't made these 6 yet.
Right. I know. I'm just saying.
I know. Preparation.
Talisman creator. Okay, let's go.
Okay, Thursday, December 20th. And remember, everybody, you can use these times and these words as your ritual or buy the one I'm making. Because I do list them on the Instagram. So go on to, get on our...
Get on the Instagram.
The Instagram thingy, pagey, wedgie thing. And I know how to take a picture of the beads with the
Yes,
chart
yes.
and make a little statement and
You're
send it to
savvier
you.
than you let off. I will say.
I get caught up in the words. My Mercury is in Pisces. I get
True.
caught up in words.
True.
But here we go. So use these times if you like. December 20th on Thursday at 9:21 a.m. This is the Sun trine Uranus. And the intention to discover the unique differences in the world. The affirmation, I open my eyes, mind, and heart to be in the wonderment of my existence and this vast earth. Wow, that's pretty far out, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But how beautiful that we get to see, okay, I'll keep going. I won't comment on all these. I got too much to talk about.
Well, really quick, and even in talking about the Sun trine Uranus that we were discussing before in the transits, that's a wonderful way of, kind of being that open vessel to accept those changes that are occurring in the world. So I just wanted to mention that.
Yeah. And to discover the uniqueness of every individual person is unique for a reason, right? I just did a reading the other day on someone, and this is probably a serial dater. And she said, you know what? I'm starting to slowly get the idea that I don't want someone like me. I really want someone different than I am that understands me. I don't care what he eats. I don't care how he wears his clothes. That used to bother me, she said. But now she's seeing the individuation makes her stand out more, right?
Yeah.
Interesting. That was just a side note. I had that planned. All right. So Thursday, a little bit later on at this is December 20th at 11:54 p.m. We're going after the Venus trine Neptune to envision a peaceful and spiritual place in the world. I I time travel to a place I so love and I enjoy. I now am able to go there on my desire.
Beautiful.
Then on Friday, this is December 21st at 5 a.m., we have, this is an interesting one, Jupiter conjunct Mercury. Now, at this exact moment, we've got the sun in Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter. We have the sun in Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury, and we have the ascendant is Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter. So the two planets that are in conjunction here are the rulers of the sun, the moon, the ascendant. And so they're moving together. So the word intention is to expand curiosity and spiritual understanding. The affirmation, I trust the interests I'm focusing on to be just what I need and want right now and in the years to come.
I like that one as well. I mean, you really don't make any bad ones.
I mean, sometimes, when I get into the exact moment and I'm making the beads, Spirit will ask me to change a word or to rewrite something in here. But I always have to have a worksheet start. A little bit later that day, December 21st at 12:59 p.m., the same Venus trine Neptune, with this time we have the Taurus rising. To find peace, bliss, and romance. The affirmation, I attract the perfect mate to me that easily aligns with who I am and I to them.
I like that.
Then we have a little bit later, December 21st at 2:23 p.m., we have that ascendant now is Gemini. What rules Gemini? Mercury. And remember, Mercury is conjoining Jupiter. The intention, to better understand the goals and beliefs of my loved ones. The affirmation, I totally get what they are saying. I ask questions when I'm unclear so that we are on the same page and we easily help each other. So,
I like
no,
that.
there's still more.
That's a teamwork one.
Yeah. Well, it's the the Mercury and the Jupiter. It's like the small and the big, right?
Yeah.
And still later that day, Friday, December 21st at 6:49 p.m., we have the sun in Capricorn, so it's the winter solstice. I'm waiting for the 6:49 p.m. because I want the ascendant to be Leo. Because what rules Leo?
The sun.
The sun. And so the sun is the most important placement when this comes up at 6:49 p.m. to focus on my goals and responsibilities. The affirmation, I connect to spirit by touching the sky. I easily reach toward knowing my focus.
Yeah. And with courage, right? I mean, with that sun in Leo.
Yeah, it's almost like having a directed arrow to go far. With Mercury saying, okay, Mercury likes to stay small and Jupiter likes to go big. So if we use those combinations in a beautiful sense, we can go further, longer, as long as we have a directed aim. Does it make sense?
I think so. But you're using the sun in Capricorn as well as the the Mercury conjunct Jupiter.
Right.
Okay. Now I understand it. Yes.
Got it. So that's a lot of talisman times. Let's see if I can meet all of my goals and responsibilities.
I think you can. So, speaking of goals and responsibilities, we have a lot coming up, not only in talismans, but really, this end of the year is just such a wonderful time to reflect on what's been going on the past year, as well as to really envision for ourselves and plan. Of course, we've been hearing it, everywhere about what's going to happen in 2019. How are we going to really set ourselves up for success? And so what I really like is that we have...
Talk about my favorite thing, though, first.
You want to talk about your favorite thing? Go ahead.
Oh,
yeah.
Good.
Yes.
The solar-powered year.
Yeah.
It seriously is my favorite thing. It's a webinar. It's one day you have a choice of the 31st or the 1st. This is the 31st of December or the 1st. So it's New Year's Eve day.
Right.
Or New Year's Day.
And I think that I should mention and interject here that their attendance is not necessary. So I think that, some people might be a little bit weary, like, oh man, I'm going to be so busy during the holidays that I won't even be able to start that. But in signing up for this online webinar, you receive absolutely everything
in advance through the email.
And you'll also be sent a recording of the entire webinar so that you are not missing anything.
And really, the pages that come to your email that you'll print out, there'll be about 3 pages that'll give you the 66 days of your year based on your natal chart, right? So where your sun, moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, Uranus, all of your natal planets, including your ascendant. And then when the sun transits those points, I give you the dates that you get a trine, that you get a square, that you get a conjunction, or you get an opposition to all of those points. That's 66 days specific to you, right? Specific to you that you get to put in your calendar, your fresh, new 2019 calendar. And I give you a handout which will say, what's sun square sun? And I give you some energy descriptions, or what is sun trine sun? And I give you the dates that this will happen. So put that in your calendar. When do you hold and when do you fold, right? It's like when do you schedule a meeting if you have an option, if you get the choice you're going to schedule a meeting on like a really beautiful, Neptune, not a Neptune day, a Mercury day. A sun Mercury day when things are clear and crisp and you can understand and you get your point across, right? Not to do it on a Mercury square Neptune day when nobody's paying attention.
When you should be going to church.
When you should be meditating and being in a peaceful, you should be by the water. It's like, don't try and have a serious financial, maybe have a visioning meeting. That would be good for... right. Throw
Absolutely.
your ideas on the table, everybody that sits around and, let's think about that, but not to have like a financial meeting. And so all these days are really, really key, not only in 2019, but guess what? Every year, because it's the sun that we can identify where it will be.
Right. On an annual basis. Yeah.
Any day of the year. And it will be... if you having, which, I'll talk about that at our house.
So everyone in this webinar gets 66 days of 365 days that they can really focus in on and just know that this is a 166th of their birthday.
Right, of the sun moving. So that's my favorite. I called it Solar Powered Year. And they actually get a talisman. I give them it's a gift, a orbit necklace based on, and when you go into the website, you'll be given a choice of, give me a direction because I'll look at your chart and pick an orbit necklace for you.
Like a perfect talisman for him.
Yeah.
Perfect.
To hold for the year. So really, it's, that's my favorite thing. Sign up, please. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And there is a possibility that this webinar might be available afterwards as a downloadable, but you absolutely want to get in on December 31st or the 1st because you do get that extra talisman.
Special gift.
You get some special added bonuses. So I guess just rewinding maybe a couple of days, we do have the Cosmic Trends year ahead, and this is quarter 1. Mm-hmm. So every single quarter... Sandy and Susan's one of our astrology GFs, who they come together and they go through their favorite days of the year. And these are much more general. So this doesn't have to do with your birthday. This doesn't have to do with your birth data. Sandy and Susan don't know exactly, specifically who they're talking to. They're just talking to the masses. So this is talking about, new moons. This is talking about eclipses, Jupiter conjunct Venus, days to go out on dates, blah, blah, blah. And blah, blah, blah. And so that's a free event. It's on Facebook. So if you haven't liked us on Facebook yet, you will be able to see the event there. as well as every single time we do a Cosmic Trends quarterly webinar or Facebook Live event like this, we actually have one that's in person as well. So anyone that's local to the Chicago area, we do have a few spots left for Saturday. Sunday is all sold out, but the Q1 for Saturday is available, and you can check that out in the description on this intention or Astrological Intentions podcast description. Then finally, on the horizon, we have April 15th to the 26th. We have coming up is our favorite Bali retreat. It is open for enrollment. If you are at all interested, this is a really wonderful opportunity to travel with like-minded people who are there to both have fun and self-explore. And I know you, Mom, have been handling kind of like a lot of those retreat readings, those free 15-minute-ish.
Oh, gosh, hardly. Well, because I really want to get into their chart a little bit and see what's going on this April time period, 2019 for them. And just, I want to see who they are. I'll talk about their natal chart too. I had a couple today. And then,
what are some questions that people ask?
Well, it's not necessarily so much about their astrology. I want to look at their astrology of it. Yeah, they want to hear that, but they also want to know about, do we get rides from the airport? They want to know some of the logistics of, what do we do? Do we go to the temples? Do we go to the fire and water ceremonies? And I'll talk briefly about that too, about, and of course, welcome them to go to the website and watch the video from last year's or the year before's. I don't know which one's up there now, but, sign up. It's, if you're interested, this is what this is. I only talk about the energy of this April time period in 2019.
Right. In the location of Bali. Okay. So finally to talk about our last category, our house. I do want to remind everyone, we have a super cool video of the winter solstice, and this is happening from the perspective of Fairbanks, Alaska. And the sun just kind of skims across the top of the water, and that's their entire day. The sun is above the horizon for about how long, Mom?
2.5, 3 hours.
Wow. But yes, we've all heard of, much more northern latitudes. It's the sun, especially in the winter, is gone the whole time.
Yeah, it doesn't come up.
So yeah, check out that link. It's very cool. Do you have anything to share about winter solstice, Mom?
No.
But
I had something to say about one of my favorite days.
What is your favorite day?
So doing the solar power year and preparing for it and doing all these charts, right? Mm-hmm. And I, just hadn't paid attention to mine for a couple months. And I looked over at mine and said, my gosh, I had such a fun time on Friday and Saturday night this past week. And I looked, and sure enough, there's the sun, transiting sun, trining my ascendant and then trining my Jupiter. So of course I would have a fun, expansive day, being social, being out in the world, attracting people to me. And I did. I had that was the most social probably I've been here in Chicago this whole year. What? And it was one of my solar powered days. It was one of my 66 days.
Wow.
It was actually 2 of my 66 days. So it was working in real time, and I had forgotten that. And I went back. I'm like, why did I have such a good time? And I stayed out late. I wasn't like sleeping at 9:30 at night like I usually am. And man, I was out like past 1 o'clock.
I think you beat me.
I was out longer than you. So that is what I'm talking about, is find those days. Mm-hmm. When does the sun give you extra energy? And when does the sun kind of take away some of the energy? That's all you need. You just need to be aware of them and then work with that. Mm-hmm. I'm seriously, of all the things I'm doing right now, the solar power year is my fave.
I know you've
every client I'm having, I'm like, oh, this is one of those days. If you sign up, you'll get 65 more days,
Right.
which actually I had some sign-ups up today because of that. Do you have anything in our house, Alex? Do you have any comments or vague statements?
Well, I do, of course. That Venus sextile Saturn that you were talking about last week, where you were saying, committing to a love relationship. And this is just kind of that Saturn about, getting a little bit more serious, and the Venus of like this love and beauty and pleasantries. I have a lot to say about that, but I think we're all out of time today. Long story short, I started getting much more committed to a love relationship. So that's been my news. That's been my news.
Yeah.
So
we want more.
I can't give you more.
Over
time. Listen to the next episode. I'll give you a little bit more. How about that? So I'm
happy for you. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, and we have the holidays coming up, and I'm so excited. I think that's all. That's all for our episode today. It's a beautiful episode number 23. And
thank you for joining, and solar powered year.
Yeah,
get ready.
Check that out.
Yeah.
Check that out.
Yeah.
We would love to hear from you guys. Of course, reach out to us. Instagram, intention_beads. Our website, intentionbeads.com. You can sign up for our mailing list there. You can check out our events if I have uploaded them. But of course, you can reach out to us if you have any questions, or if you hear anything on the podcast that you don't hear, that you don't see on the website. Since all of our podcast listeners, we love you all so much. And
it's Christmas time.
And it's Christmas time. We want to give you guys the special. So you want to go to intentionbeads.com/podcast. There's going to be a little button in there that says schedule your astrology reading. And what you want to do, once you click that link, that's where you'll be registering the date and time you want the reading. And the passcode is Jazz Fuzz. And that's our producer's name, JAZZFUZZ. So jump on the website. We'd love to, hear from you guys. Jump on Instagram. And that is all for this episode of Astrological Intentions. We love you guys.
We love you. Merry Christmas.